Now, safe to say that AK is the greatest rapper to ever touch the mic in South Africa. We can talk about his skill, his style, his influence, his status, and business acumen. But what if I told you the reason hip-hop is where it is today is solely and only because of AKA? Well, and him too, but we'll get into that.
Root of fucking up SA hip-hop came from them niggas beef. I think it came from the AK and Casper beef. I think that's what fucked hip-hop up. Because then the competition became intense. Because of what those niggas were going through, they started saying certain shit in their songs that made people in the industry drift apart. Because when niggas start talking on their songs like, yeah, all you niggas couldn't do this, and then yeah, all you niggas ain't none without me. That's like, but like when you're saying all you niggas, you're talking about us. We are the
You
niggas.
also catching it.
So it's like,
So AKA was no means the first South African hip-hop artist to become a crossover superstar. We had Double HP, Pro Kid, Tear Gas, Kulichana, and people who did it massive before him. But they moved with a kind of humility that you couldn't associate with AKA. Some called it arrogance, him and his fans called it confidence, knowing and believing in yourself.
First lesson that I've learned in business experiences is speak straight, speak bluntly. Don't make your intentions clear. Make yourself understood. Make yourself very clearly understood.
So the name Supamega just shows how highly AKA thought of himself. The man was larger than life. He spoke with a natural conviction and walked in sure-footed strides. And in the early 2010s, AKA shattered boundaries when he became the first South African hip-hop superstar to rap exclusively in English. Rappers like Proverb, Stogie T, and Zaps before him were successful in a niche of artists that were catered to staunch only hip-hop hits. But AK was huge. His debut album Alter Ego spawned hits such as his breakout Victory Lap, I Want It All I Know, and Bang.
I grew up since Pop screwed up, Mom introduced me to God, give me his ball, help me shoot up.
So AK became impossible to ignore. He swept the Metro FM Awards in 2011, giving pop star Zahara a run for her money. From around that time, he became known as the Prince of South African hip-hop. With his platinum certified sophomore album Levels, AKA decided to go even bigger, sampling dance music when every rapper was sampling Kwaito in the mid-2010s. AKA created an album with the sound so expansive, he started performing with a live band. The records of Levels were extravagant, and he had a pop sheen that made his music even more relatable.
You know, he's, as much as I knew that our styles were different, completely, he was always like the guy to beat, you know, because he was, a lot of people don't want to say this, right? He was better, right? He was broader musically. I mean, he studied it. Not only did he have the pen, the skill, he studied the thing. He could produce. He literally had the power to take the idea from his head and put it into song alone, right? He can do that sitting by himself. I can't do that, right? Sitting by myself. I'd need a Marco. I'd need a producer. I'd need a producer in the studio to make the beat. And I can go, maybe fagala, but I can't fully. And you could tell in the music, right? It showed. It was there all the time from when we started, from when he dropped the Victory Lap. Even before that, there was 266, I think, 266.8 or whatever, a play on 24/7, right? Which is the first time actually I heard Sizwe Dlomo rap, because he raps on that thing. His rap name was Scatterbrain. But from then, I knew he had this joint called Mistakes on that tape. And I knew then that, geez, okay,
this boy's gonna be a problem. Yeah.
It's a problem, because he makes songs like the guys I idolize make songs. You know, he has that sort of ability.
So for the rest of the 2010s, AK remained untouchable, taking time to spar with the likes of KO, Stogie T, and Reason, and making pop hits with the likes of Trezor, Mikasa, and Younger Chief. The Levels era has to be AKA's best. Once again, he broke new ground when he forged his way into the Nigerian and other African markets. I mean, he was literally one of the biggest things in Africa at the time.
Look how I put my city on the world map. It's gonna take more than good luck to bring your girl back.
Okay, so let's talk about some of the things that contributed to, SA hip-hop being where it is today. For one, I think AKA became bigger than hip-hop, right? I think many of y'all would agree that the most celebrity we had in our country had to be AKA. He was not only involved in the hip-hop community, but he had to be involved in everything that had to do with pop culture and music. For example, the 2016 DSTV I Rock show where Black Coffee rocked his manager with a slap, he was literally the only hip-hop act there. And it's not the only show, but the level that AKA has reached in not just music, but in general, is still so and was so difficult to surpass, which takes me to my next point: the numbers, the sales, the awards, and the accolades. So AKA is currently sitting on around 30 plus awards. The first time he was nominated for Best Male, he was nominated alongside Jimmy Dludlu, who's an icon. So the levels of him compared to other hip-hop artists are just, they could never be matched. And for example, Levels is 7 times platinum as of today, whilst the song Dreamwork is over 52 times platinum now. Which artist besides Questa is going to beat that? The bar AKA left is way too high. And why I say this is because even guys before him hadn't achieved the things AKA was achieving. The guys he was, battling with in that time, the guys he was going against, also hadn't achieved some of the things that he's achieved. He set the bar really high. For example, taking it back to between 2014 and 2017, when him and the whole hip-hop community were, fighting to make hip-hop the most listened to genre in the country. Him and KO in the forefront took hip-hop to actually the most listened to genre in the country. The record he's broken might never ever be broken again or matched. And when we look at this anomaly of an artist in AKA, we realize that it's not that the new artists aren't good enough. It's just that AKA was way too good.
Yeah, that's why I was reading some tweets just the other day, when it was one of those days when I do, and I ran into just the catalog conversations, and I actually tried playing the catalog. It's insane.
It's insane.
It's the best there is.
It's insane. It's insane, bro.
It's the best. It's the greatest catalog. Yeah. In terms of just the impact some of these songs had, and so not in comparison to one song and then say, yo, he's never had a song that big or what, just all the songs and the impact that all the songs had and put that together. No one's ever done that,
So obviously, AKA became one of the biggest acts in the country, based off experimenting with, incorporating sounds from dance, piano, EDM into his music, expanding the sonic palette of South African hip-hop beyond Kwaito and just trap. And the next point for me has to be the AKA and Casper beef. It really created a duality within the SA hip-hop community. So now, because of AKA and Casper, we now have sides in hip-hop. We have fans on one side and the other fans on the other side. Before AKA and Casper, we didn't really have such a thing. But today, there's many sides like the Nasty C and Ari side, the Blackie and Lucas rap side, etc. And ultimately, that's the reason the culture died, because it's not about the culture anymore. It's just about the two biggest artists in the industry. And all the hip-hop fans are split into just those two fan bases. There's a reason we could have Morafe coexist with Pro Kid, Tear Gas, and Jabba, because it was all about the culture. So last but not least, AKA's larger-than-life personality, the way AKA lived compared to how other rappers are living, it's not the same. Even rappers in his time, he wasn't living like them. People buy into perception, I guess. And remember, so when you see Supamega, he looked like Supamega. He looked like a star. He was a star. He was on billboards, news, tabloids. He was everywhere. The moves he made are too impossible to replicate. And for me, I really think it's kind of impossible to ask anyone, new generation, old generation, generation before him, to try do what AKA did. It's so impossible, man. I think this guy, him being the greatest and him doing it at that level and leaving such a gap, really did ruin SA hip-hop. because no one is even going to come close to what AKA was in the whole South African hip hop community.